This is a revolting development. I don't know if it's related. I don't often have dreams, and once in a while, but I don't usually have dreams. Last night, I had some weird ones, and I remember them, which is even weirder. There was a sort of a used book and record store, and which is the kind of place I'd hang out in, although not so much record stores anymore because, well, they are dead except for the hipsters, and so therefore they are dead. But it was like when I was a kid, Bookman's, which is a very big chain of used bookstores in Tucson and to a lesser degree here in Phoenix, used to be in like a medical complex that they'd taken over. So it was a series of offices next to each other. They just knocked walls down, and you would kind of wind your way illogically through. That's what this was like. It was like a compound in a sort of horseshoe shape with a parking lot in the middle. And it was packed floor to ceiling and tables and shelves with books and people. And for some reason, I came back at night and to do something with the records, not steal them, but I don't know, put them back where they belonged or something. I don't remember that part, but then apparently it triggered an alarm. Excuse me. And so people came, and then I was like hiding underneath the cars and trying to escape. And I finally made it home, and I got to my house. I had to let the orangutan out. I'm not kidding. He was in the pit in the front yard where I kept him, along with a junior orangutan. And we let him out, and he was walking around to do his business, and I thought he was going to be okay, because apparently that's the way it worked. But the neighbor's gorilla, I'm just totally not making this up, the neighbor's gorilla, and he got into a Donnybrook there, and that was all very distressing to me, because the orangutan and the gorilla should not have come together. And then a bunch of Christian proselytizers showed up my door with all sorts of their typically crazy stuff, and I kicked them out in no uncertain terms. To which then their leader went outside and tied a string to a glow stick, and he was tossing it across the street like an anchor or something. And when I came out to give him a hard time about doing his weird stuff, he tried to convince me that I should be paying more attention to them because of the werewolf who lives across the street. This whole thing was bizarre, and what I'm getting at is I feel like I was very active in my sleep. And when I got up this morning and I rolled out of bed, my back just absolutely spasmed shut, and I hit the floor instead of standing up on the floor like I had expected. And I am completely immobilized at the moment. I've got an ice pack on my back, and I've taken some anti-inflammatory, and I've had some breakfast so that the anti-inflammatory won't screw up my stomach, but I am stuck here, and unless my back eases up here pretty soon, I'm not going into work today because I can't drive like this. But these kinds of days are no fun. No fun at all. Earlier, after I spoke with you, I took something to relax the muscles in my back, which usually does the trick. It causes the spasm to go away, and eventually the back loosens up and I can stand up straight again. It also knocks me out for hours on end. So I have been lying down all day, and I cannot take lying down all day. So I'm just gonna go out and walk around the block and stretch out a little bit. Not too much, not lifting anything, but pacing around the living room gets boring. So wish me luck. Shouldn't be a problem. I think we're good. I hope so. I hate it when as long as I don't bend over, this won't be a problem. For sure. And it won't even then. Hopefully. You know, I love the folks at Quick Trip. It's my favorite convenience store. They're big, they're well thought out, they've got lots of products, and they're courteous, they pay well. I mean, just, they've got their act together. I'm glad they're expanding like they are. I don't want to know about their corporate policies behind the scenes, but from what the face that they put on, that's fine. But there is one thing that I put a curse on them. I curse them. Look at the size of this soda fountain. This is a huge soda fountain. It's got many, many choices, more than you could possibly want, because I only want one choice anyway, but that's okay. Other people like Coke, or Diet Coke, or some of these other flavors. But here's why I put a curse on them, and I think I've meant to say this before and never got around to it. There was a time when they put out these, well, when I was a kid, every once in a while, like when you and me making an icy or something, kids would get what they called a suicide, and that would be every flavor mixed together, which is a revolting drink. And basically Quick Trip did that in a formal way. They actually put out on their counters recipes that you could try for mixing all the various drinks that they have. And so that takes this big drinking fountain and turns it into one man's, I've slowed you all down because I can't figure out what I want to drink. So I've decided to have 8 different things, and I'm going to have to move around from page to page. And the other thing that irritates me is that they've put the add vanilla and add cherry flavoring right next to the Dr. Pepper, which, of all the drinks there, does not need cherry or vanilla flavoring. So it means that when people get in there to add those revolting things to their drinks, they block the Dr. Pepper. And that is not a good thing.